Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to be yet another demonstration of how we are governed by individuals that have got no ethics, no principles, no values, and no morals whatsoever. Now, to start it off, let me just give you an example. Imagine we had a minister of women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Oh wait, we do actually have one. Now imagine this minister attending an event in which they have to praise this nation, yet what this nation is doing to their women, children, and persons with disabilities go against every fiber of what our constitution stands for and what the Ministry of Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities should stand for. Imagine if something like that happened. Well, do I have a surprise for you? Let's have a look. Minister Chikunga to attend the 47th commemoration of the Islamic Revolution Day of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now that was this past Friday, and it happened at the Maslow Hotel in Menlyn, Times Square, Pretoria. Now, what is absolutely shocking about this is the fact that we have unequivocal evidence of how women have been treated in Iran since, ironically, the Islamic Revolution of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Because before that, women could do pretty much whatever they wanted to. To a large extent, women had equal rights in Iran. They could go to the beach and wear a bikini. And then we all know what happened. And for those of you that don't know what happened, let's do a quick recap. So, key discriminatory laws against women in Iran, contradicting Western democratic principles of equality and freedom, which is what our nation prescribes to as a constitutional democracy. Compulsory jihad, veiling for women over 9, fines up to 74 lashes, 2 to 15 years in prison, or death for promoting non-compliance under the 2024 chastity and jihad law. It's not an old law, it's 2 years old. Adultery by married women, stoning to death or 100 lashes, harsher enforcement on women than men. Public moral crimes, for an example, improper dress or dancing. I mean, really? Up to 74 lashes or 6 months prison. Women disproportionately targeted. Consuming alcohol, 80 lashes. Women face added scrutiny under gender norms. Same-sex relations for women, up to 100 lashes or death by stoning. Lesbian acts criminalized after 4th offense. Yeah, remember the LGBTQI plus community that are waving your flags in support of Iran. This is what you're supporting. Child marriage. Girls from age 9 with court approval. No minimum age enforcement. Leads to lifelong subjugation, violating consent principles. Fines and annulment are rare. It's pretty much supporting child molestation is what's going on here. Unequal inheritance. Women receive half the share of men from estates. No redress, entrenching economic dependence. Women's testimony in court valued at half a man's in financial adultery cases. Dismisses women's credibility in justice system. Male guardianship for travel, passport. Women need husbands, fathers' permission to leave country and restricts autonomy and mobility. No criminalization of marital rape or domestic violence. Husbands are immune. Honor killings, lightly punished, up to 3 years if proven. Polygamy, for men only, up to 4 wives. Women cannot object, fosters inequality in family structures. And lastly, bans on women in certain professions and sports. Judging, stadium attendance without a jihad, exclusion or lashes, fines for participation, limiting equal opportunities. Now, what is important about this is the fact that we live in a constitutional democracy that guarantees everybody equal rights. And yet, here we have a minister for women, etc., that decides to attend this event and a nation that treats their women like absolute shit. And not only does she attend the event, but we'll see in her speech how she praises Iran. How is it possible that in a country that values the Constitution, that is a constitutional democracy, and that all men and women are equal under the law, can support a nation that is willing to stone somebody to death because they are a woman? Can somebody please explain to me how it is acceptable for the minister to not only attend that event, but also to support Iran? Because in her speech, which we'll get to, she praises Iran. And she praises the fact that they are now the Islamic Republic of Iran. And yet, when you look at the laws that are against women in this country, it's just as if they ignore that happened. Oh, and by the way, let's ignore the fact that over the last 2 months in Iran, their government has killed close to 20,000 people for protesting against their government peacefully. That's right. This is the type of skunks that our nation and our government and our ministers want to associate themselves with. Let's have a look at some of the things that she said, because the speech is not available yet. So I'm going to just take some highlights that has been reported by Newsday. Let's have a look. So this article was published by Newsday, and it reads, South Africa's Minister for Women under fire. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'm just going to focus on the interesting bits here. According to reports from the event, she paid homage to Iran's culture, of killing women and raping children, praised the enduring ties between South Africa and Iran, nice, and emphasized cooperation, solidarity, and shared values between the two countries. Yes, because, we rape children and force them into marriages over here legally, and we are allowed to stone women. I mean, it makes perfect sense. There was another instance here of something that she said. Her speech reportedly referenced South African historical milestones such as the Soweto Uprising and the 1956 Women's March, a subtle appeal for tolerance or dissent despite Iran's record of harsh responses to protests. Yeah, I mean, the 1956 Women's March that was held in South Africa was against apartheid. If that march had to take place in Iran right now, every single woman would be murdered. It's as simple as that. So now the obvious question is, how the hell can a minister that is representing women go to a commemoration event in which the country that is being commemorated is treating women worse than animals in that country by giving them lashes, by stoning them, by forcing the children into marriage from the age of 9? And we all know that that age is actually a lot younger when it happens behind the scenes. So our minister, who needs to uphold our constitution and our rights in this country, went to an event to go and praise another country for how they deal with things and how we have shared values, but yet we all see how they treat their own citizens. And when I say citizens, I'm talking about the roughly 20,000 people that were brutally killed by their government over the last 2 months. Not even referencing the fact that the women there are treated subhuman. And they can't think for themselves, they can't act for themselves, they need a man to guide them. And if they don't listen, then they get lashes, they get stoned to death, they get sent to jail. And ultimately, if you object against your daughter marrying a 40 or 50-year-old man and your daughter is 9 years old or younger, then, hey, you're going to get some lashes. This is what our government supports. This is what the Minister of Women support in this country. Now, excuse what I'm about to say. How the fuck can we have an individual like that as a minister? How can we have a department of women, youth, and persons with disabilities when that department and the minister supports events like that? How? Can somebody explain it to me? Because here we are, it's after the event, there is a little bit of outrage by people in South Africa that was aware of it, and there's been some mainstream media coverage. Thank you, newsday.co.za. But other than that, it's just like business as usual. Nothing to see here. Ignore the fact that we are hosting an event to celebrate Iran after they just killed 20,000 of their own people and they treat women like shit. What message is this sending to women in this country? Black, white, colored, Indian, Asian, it doesn't matter. Your race in this instance doesn't matter. You know what matters in this instance? The fact that you have a minister that does not give a single flying fuck about you. And you know what is weird? As a man, I am outraged on behalf of women, but yet the minister who gets paid 2 million rand a year to be outraged by this, to stand up for women's rights, goes to an event like this and supports a country that does not give a shit about their women. Why do we still have this ministry? What is the point of it? There is no point. It is there just to say we care about women. We are fighting gender-based violence in this country, even though statistics tell us every year it gets higher and higher. But hey, at least we have a lady there that gets paid the big bucks, you know, to represent women on a global stage. Well, in that case, I would rather say fire her, close the ministry, because it serves no purpose. In actual fact, it does a lot more damage to the reputation of South Africa and for the alleged fight for women's rights in this country when a minister goes and supports something like that, in which women are stoned, are lashed, are sent to jail for just having an opinion or dressing the way that they want to. What message are you sending? It is absolutely horrendous. And just for that, the fact that she is a minister, the fact that she could have gone to the president and say, I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to attend this event because it doesn't align with my morals, my values, my principles, my ethics that I have. No. Instead, she kept quiet because the salary is good. And then she went and contradicted herself and her department and what it represents to South Africa. Well, I can tell you what that department means and what it represents for South Africa. Fuck all. That is what it represents. And that's pretty much all I got to say, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to share this video far and wide. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, it's absolutely free. And if you support my channel and if you support my content, then please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below. And it'll cost you R39.99 a month. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre.